Hi. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's get this microphone. Whew, YouTube struggle is real. It's showtime. Rutabaga watermelon. Hello, Shining Light. Today I want to talk about simple tips for managing anxiety. Studies have shown that globally, 4% of the population suffer from an anxiety disorder. That's about 301 million people. In the US alone, 19.1% of the population suffer from an anxiety disorder, with 31% having experienced some sort of anxiety disorder in their life. So if this sounds like you, stay tuned. Let's jump right in. So if you're new to my channel, we talk about liberating ourselves from stress, anxiety, and depression so that we can live our best life and create the life that we want to live. So today I am speaking on simple tips for managing anxiety. Well, first of all, what are some of the main causes of anxiety? First of all, anxiety can be caused by a number of factors. Long-term stress can actually lead to anxiety. So they're all kind of related. So when we put it under the umbrella of stress, anxiety, and depression, a lot of these they all go hand in hand. You may get one, you may get the other, you may get all of them. So anxiety is one of those things that we all deal with at some point because it's just a part of being alive, and it's how you manage it is what we need to focus on. So 3 causes of anxiety. One of the big ones is genetics. So 30 to 50% risk of you having, there's a 30 to 50% risk of you having anxiety if someone in your family already has anxiety. There's lots of genes that play into factor. I'm not going to go into those right now, but that's out of your control. There's nothing that you can do about your genetics, but you can do things to control what you eat, how you live your lifestyle, and how to manage contributing factors so it doesn't become a problem. Generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, and panic-related disorders are usually associated with genetic anxiety. Life events. That is a third factor in what may lead you to have anxiety. We're talking about trauma, physical and emotional abuse. We're talking about PTSD, a high amount of being in environments where you have a high amount of anxiety will just lead you to, of course, just be anxious. Even when you are removed from those situations, the anxiety still stays with you. It kind of, just like with any habit, it kind of becomes deep-rooted in you. And you have to take measures, sometimes, treatment even, to conquer some of these disorders. Life events. That is a third reason why you may have anxiety. Bereavement and loss, traumatic events, natural disasters, even, job loss. These are the type of things that can lead to you having anxiety. Bereavement, a lot of people don't think that losing a loved one, even getting a divorce, can cause PTSD and anxiety disorder, because there's a sense of losing yourself, of losing a loved one. You don't know what's going to happen next or where your place is in the world. And those type of things can cause you to have anxiety. So What are some simple tips to reduce anxiety if you are suffering from it? Well, the very first thing is to learn how to control your thoughts. Now, you guys, I suffered from anxiety for so many years. So I am speaking of a place of experience, okay? My entire life, probably, we're talking well over 20 some odd years or more of experiencing anxiety because I didn't know how to deal with it. So I understand the spiraling thoughts. I understand the nail biting. I understand the picking and the hair twirling, not knowing what's going to happen, waking up every single day and not knowing what's going to happen. So when I say control your thoughts, I want to say easier said than done. That is the truth. However, just like any habit, just like any sort of therapy, you want to focus on what has to be done and take it day by day. You're not going to wake up one day and go, I'm going to control my thoughts today. That's actually a very proactive way of thinking. But also you have to give yourself room for if you backslide, and that's going to happen on your journey towards healing. So, what are you doing by controlling your thoughts? Meditation. You can practice simple mindful meditation, which means just staying in the moment, keeping your mind focused on the moment. Once we move into the future, that's where anxiety lies, right? That's where we think, oh gosh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, pick up the kids, pick up the laundry. My boss is going to be upset. I got this conference call. And the next thing you know, you've created a scenario that hasn't happened. You don't know what's going to happen. You just know it's going to be hell when you get there. So your mind is already there. So through mindfulness, we stay present. Through meditation, you can do 5, 10, 15 minutes a day. Just work yourself up into those increments. Just start with 5 minutes a day if you're going to do meditation. And you can just do simple meditation, such as breathing. That's another tip. Some breathing exercises such as box breathing, focused breathing. You can do sound therapy where just, you're listening to sounds of water. There's tons of YouTube videos on, binaural beats for calming the senses, nature sounds, anything that is going to be calming and soothing and to keep you in the moment. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself when you are having a spiraling thought. Ask yourself, does this make any sense? Why would I be concerned about this now? You want to challenge yourself by thinking about it logically, because when you're spiraling, a lot of it is not logical. There is no way you know what's going to happen in the future. Yeah, you know you're going to drive from point A to point B to pick up your kid. But if you just start thinking about how traffic is going to be, the accident that's going to happen, that could possibly happen to you, what if I have to go to the bathroom and all of this, you don't know that that's going to happen, but you've made it a part of your reality. You've created psychological dramas that is causing yourself anxiety. Your anxiety is up here. A lot of times it's not from the world around you. It's what you do, what's going on in here. So you want to challenge these negative thoughts. So, point number 2, in managing your anxiety, what do? Take care of yourself. Treat yourself kindly. Stay focused and in the moment, but watch what you eat. Y'all, I know you love caffeine. It's delicious. I love coffee. Everybody loves that little jolt. Oh, I must have my coffee. Well, there are so many different alternatives. For me, I noticed that it wasn't about the caffeine. It's never been about the caffeine for me. It's been about the routine of having something warm, hot, and savory in the morning. So I started drinking lemon juice, hot lemon water with ginger and honey. I bought a huge box of herbal tea. Now there's this, the rise teas, these mushrooms teas, these adaptogen teas that are out here to keep you away from caffeine. Anything herbal may not do your research because you could end up with an allergic reaction, or it could make you sick, or it just may not be good for your constitution. But find a healthy alternative to caffeine and limit your intake, limit your sugar. These are all of the things that contribute to, high fat, grease, highly processed foods. There's a reason why they tell you to eat clean, especially when you're on a journey towards healing. These foods irritate your body on a cellular level. Caffeine, you spike. And then what? You're going straight down. And while you're going down, you're spiraling. You're not going straight down. If you have anxiety, you are in a tailspin all the way towards the ground. Sugar, the same thing. It's going to spike you. Okay? So just be mindful of what you're taking into your body. Time management. If you know it's hard for you to do certain tasks because of you're anxious, you're procrastinating, you don't want to do it, then put time management steps into effect as early as you can. Start planning for that meeting 2 weeks in advance so you can walk in there with confidence. You have all your paperwork. You have everything that you need. You got to pick up your kid. You got to do the laundry. You have to do the food. Call ahead of time. Have that stuff curbside. Do whatever it takes to streamline your life. This means living consciously. You can't just blunder through life and say that, oh gosh, I have anxiety, all this stuff happens to me. No, the world is always going to be the world. You are the one that can change. There's nothing about the world that has ever been different. Okay? Yes, we have more food, we have technology, we have all this, but mankind and the capitalism and the materialism and all the stuff, the politics that we deal with is just something we have to integrate, okay? And we have to live out here in this. So the only person who is responsible for change is you. So put in effect those time management skills so that you can stay ahead of the game and don't throw oil on the fire that is already burning in your life. This tiny little flame doesn't have to become a bonfire. Another way to take care of yourself is to pamper yourself. Be good to yourself. Take time out to go to a spa, get a massage, go get a foot rub. Treat yourself to a movie alone. Or you can go on a date, whatever. But the point is to yourself. The words, do you hear them? Yourself. Go out and be alone by yourself. Take a hike or take a trip somewhere, and just pamper yourself. Take hot baths. Schedule that time. That goes with time management so that you can, just like everything else in your life has to be scheduled, get ahead of the game. Don't wait till you're already underwater before you start lifting, trying to get air. You should be getting air while the water's down here. You should be planning on what you need to do while the water, you should even see the water. Okay? You should be already planning what's your next stage. And journal. If you're having anxious thoughts, as soon as you feel yourself starting to spiral, grab that notebook, put all that junk down on paper, okay? And unless you just love to read about your crazy spiraling thoughts, you can keep that journal around. What I like to do sometimes is I write all that mess down and then I burn it. Because frankly, I don't even want to remember what it was about. So for me, I'm also doing it on a spiritual level, is to pull that out of my head and to release it out, away from me, away from my body, away from my mind and spirit. But if you want to keep your journal to record your spiritual journey or your healing journey, then by all means, just don't wallow in it. Don't just go back and then beat yourself up for the place that you are. You want to be able to go back and look at your journaling and go, wow, I have come from a crazy place and look at me now. So get those thoughts out of your head. So another tip, my third tip on how to manage anxiety is connect with others. So your personality and whether or not you have anxiety or not are also linked to the fact that you may be an introvert or an extrovert. And a lot of that happens with, having social anxiety. If you are an introvert, I am an introvert. I'm a social introvert, but an introvert nonetheless. And I have this thing, and a lot of my friends who are introverts do. When we are going through hard times, we fall off the face of the earth and do what I say, we crawl under a bush and die. Like cats. You let a cat out, a cat is gone. If it's sick or it's close, it's old, that cat, you better not let it outside, because that cat will go somewhere and just be like, peace out. So same way with introverts. We will fall off the face of the earth when what we should be doing is being around others. But you want to be careful with that, because you want to be around certain people. Okay? You want to be around people that you can trust to share about what you're going through, people who uplift you, people who may be on the same journey as you, but sometimes you get that crab in a bucket thing. If you're surrounded by people who are anxious, the last thing you probably need to do is be around anxious people, because you're going to feed off that energy, especially if you're empathic. So you really want to protect yourself during those times. But there's nothing wrong with isolation, but when that isolation comes at a cost where you're not isolating to get over something or spiritual, or to manifest something in your life, or to heal, you're just wallowing in your anxiety and you're going a little bit crazy. So to help yourself, go out and be social. There are support groups. There are, if you have hobbies, if you have sports organizations, if you play sports, go out, go to a bar and hang with your pals. Just do something to connect to like-minded people who you trust and who are going to be uplifting. So, what are the benefits for reducing anxiety? All right. First of all, anxiety will kill you. Just flat out, it'll kill you. You'll have a heart attack. You'll stroke out. You'll have hypertension. You'll age faster, you'll have inflammation, your whole body will hurt, and eventually it will lead to depression if you already don't have it. And those of you who have suffered with depression, we know that comes with a whole list of other problems that are way worse than just what you're dealing with, anxiety. So we want to nip this anxiety in the bud as soon as we possibly can and learn how to manage our stress in our life. So you'll live a happier life without anxiety. You'll be healthy. You'll be able to focus on those things that make you happy. Like, if your family brings you joy, if your family is not toxic, okay? If your family is not toxic, if you have a wonderful family that brings you joy, you'll be able to appreciate them more if you're not wallowing in anxiety. If you have outside interest, if you love being outside, if you love being inside, the things that you love to do, you'll be able to see them and enjoy them with crystal clarity. You'll be able to see the world as it actually is, as opposed to this place that's just trying to get you. You'll be able to excel at the things that you've been wanting to excel at. You'll be able to manifest the things, the wealth that you want in your life, the health that you want, because you'll have the strength to take care of yourself as opposed to being crippled by anxiety. It also helps you to build stronger relationships, because honestly speaking, if you've been around an anxious person, you either never want to be around them again, or you're just like, oh my God, this ordeal. I'm like, how am I going to get through? Because it's hard to help an anxious person. You can't help them. Sometimes when you're listening, you can listen and of course, be a shoulder to cry on for somebody who needs it, and um, speak truth to a person if you feel that your words are going to help them. But remember that a person with anxiety can only help themselves. And if you have anxiety, if you're just constantly unloading and dumping and being this crazy manic energy that's got like a chihuahua that's constantly just shivering and shaking, and people are trying to hold you and keep you warm and safe, it becomes exhausting for you and for them. So when you become a healthy person, your world becomes healthy. The people around you become healthier. You're shining your light upon them when you have healed, and you're in a place of calm, and you're grounded and you're centered. So you want to be free of anxiety so you can have the best of everything. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and hit the notification bell if this has been helpful. Let's get this message out here to people who need it. I'm trying to build a community of like-minded people who are ready to be free of stress, anxiety, and depression so that they can live their best life. Until next time, peace and blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you.